Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 4 of heats here at the British Swimming Championships 2022. My name's John Mason. I've been the host for the entire week, and I tell you what, it has been an incredible one so far. Last night's racing action was some of the best we've seen all week. We saw new British records, we saw some incredibly fast racing, and today is hopefully going to be absolutely no different. Of course, it all starts here with our heat session. Our fastest swimmers in the heats this morning going to make it through to those finals tonight. So we're going to get into it very soon, but before we do, I need to just let you know something. We've been doing the Deep End Live studio throughout the week. We had our chopstick challenge, our very own challenge happening in here with some of our athletes. Now, Amy Wilmot has lodged an official protest at Abby Woods and Adam Petey's scores last night due to a technical infringement. We're going to have an independent adjudicator take a look at those videos, and we're going to have those scores up on the board tonight. I tell you what, these swimmers, competitive, even when it's just Skittles and chopsticks involved. I love it. Right, we're going to get into the action in just a moment. It's going to be Andy and Amy up there on the stream. If you're at home, you're going to be hearing them take you through it. And of course, if you're in the venue, it's over to Alan March. Let's get into it.
So welcome to the 4th morning of heats of this 2022 British National Swimming Championships at the Ponds Forge International Sports Centre in Sheffield. And we got some cracking racing this morning. I should just go back to last night though, Amy, because last night really was an utterly brilliant evening. Some super swims, but do you have an actual highlight, having slept on it? Do you have a favourite of all those swims?
Yeah, for me, the 400 individual medley was a really special swim. We saw Duncan Scott break the British record, break the Scottish record, was also the Commonwealth record, which we forgot in the heat in the moment last night because it was such an exciting swim. And he is, at the moment, ranked currently #1 in the world this year. So really good swimming from him.
Let me just come back to that in a second, because the time was quite phenomenal, wasn't it? But this morning we've got the women's 200 metres backstroke. That pretty wide open, I think, because Kathleen Dawson, I don't think is going to be swimming in that today. And I think Cassie Wilde, also European silver medalist, has decided not to swim it as well. So that really has suddenly become pretty wide open. Men's 100 fly will be really interesting. See if James Guy can get under 51 seconds again. Double Olympic champion on that, what was he, a men's 4x2 free relay, and that brilliant world record on the mixed medley relay. And then the women's 100 metres freestyle, well, that's always fascinating, Amy.
Yeah, we have Anna Hopkin, you have Freya Anderson, Abby Wood, all coming up in that this morning. Those girls were part of the medal-winning 4x1 freestyle team last summer at the Europeans, so that'll be a really fast swim this morning.
And then men's 200 breaststroke is up after that. We were hoping to see Adam Petey have a go at that. That would have been interesting, but he's withdrawn. But we've still got James Wilby and others. Wilby, utterly brilliant Commonwealth champion on that 200 free. So first session straight in. First heat, women's 200 backstroke, 9 heats altogether. This heat 3. So the third heat of the 200 backstroke, and that's because the top 70 swimmers swim in the morning. So heat 3 of 9, we start with heat 3, and then heats 1 and 2 actually are this afternoon in a session with slightly slower heats in it. And Lucy Block of Wickham District in lane number 4 is the fastest seed.
Yeah, 200 backstroke this morning is our first event, and I'm really excited to watch this event. I used to be a backstroke swimmer when I was younger, 200 backstroke in particular, so I know when it starts to hurt. I know how difficult it is to swim 200 metres backstroke, and these girls already having a good start this morning.
So in lane number 3 at the moment, Alice Kerslake of Sandwell looking good. Started off well in 3 and 5. Isabel Woolard of Millfield School. And a nice backstroke, quite a high head. Leans a little bit over to her right-hand side when that right arm goes in, Amy?
Yeah, some swimmers have a tiny bit of a head movement. When you're learning backstroke, you obviously want to keep that head as still as possible, but some swimmers tend to be a little bit stronger on their right than their left, which kind of causes that slight little bob. And I had a bob through my whole career that I just couldn't get rid of.
Well, it certainly takes a while. I used to be a backstroker. My first race actually in British swimming for Britain was a 400 medley, which I did once and never did again. And I have to say, watching your 400 medleys at the Olympics was really something special. But my favourite of all of your races, Amy, if you don't mind me saying, was Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast. watching you win that gold medal against Hannah Miley. It was a fantastic scrap, it really was, but to come away with that, is that the highlight of your career?
I think that and qualifying for London 2012 in front of a home crowd, those two are really hard to split. Both amazing for different reasons. So, yeah, everyone asks me that question, I'm always tied.
Well, I did a little bit of backstroke. European Juniors, I got a medal at 200 meters backstroke, and then saw the light in later life and moved to the real stroke, the butterfly. But up there in lane number 5 is Isabella Woolard of Millfield, and she swam a good race here. Her entry time and her lifetime best is 2:22.68. She's going to go under 20, is she? Oh, just missed the finish, I think, but 2:21.07. Well, it looked like she had a sub-2:20 in her.
Yeah, I think those events, as you're starting to get a little bit tired at the end, you've really got to keep your hips up, especially in the backstroke. And I think last 15, she's got something to work on there. So sub-2:20 will hopefully come the next time she does that.
Well, it was a really good swim from swimmer in lane 5, Isabella Woolard of Millfield School. There's the confirmation of the result. She wins in 2:21.0. Kerslake second, Stevenson third, and Chloe Harris finishing in 4th in that first of the heats in this session. That was heat 3. Heat 4 has Natasha Whittle of Loughborough University as the fastest seed right in the centre. We're using 10 lanes in the heats, of course, and then when you go through to the finals, as is International Swimming Convention, we use 8 lanes, but there are 4 finals in the evenings. There's the senior final for the fastest 8, and then there's the B final, the A final for the fastest 8, the B final for ranked 9 to 16 after the heats of any age. Doesn't matter if you're senior or junior. They all go the fastest in the A and the B. Then we have a priority Paris final for those born 2001 and younger. And then we have the junior final. So 32 swimmers can go through to the evening. This heat 4 of 9 of the women's 200 meters backstroke. Whittle fastest seed in 4. So 4 next backstroke, fastest 70 swimmers in each of the 50, 100 and 200 meters go in the morning session. And in the afternoon session, any swimmers ranked outside of that top 70 will go. Very good start up there in lane number 5. Was Matilda Bogle of, was it 5, Matilda Bogle of Team Ipswich, or actually it was lane 6, Gracie Kay of Cambridge.
Yeah, both of those girls really in the centre had a good start, using that 15 metres, which we know you can use underwater, but lane 0 here, Isabella Eiley's finished first to 50, so she's had a really good back end 25 to that first length.
Well, she's gone out quickly. To the back, very interesting event. Her head's quite high, actually. Normally you see the head a little bit further back. You can see up in the left-hand side, that white hat in lane 1, a little bit further back, but head quite high, but very effective at the moment and looking good down this first 80 metres or so in this 200 metres backstroke.
Yeah, when your head is a little bit higher on the backstroke, you have to be able to kick your legs a bit harder because your hips naturally sit lower. So you do want to keep your chin slightly further back so you're almost looking directly up at the ceiling. Flip to that, you don't want your head so far back that your feet are then too high. So it's about getting that really nice balance in backstroke swimming.
Well, she's going very well down in lane 0, right at the bottom there. Also going well now in 5 is Matilda Bogle of Ipswich. So it's these two. Maybe the field starting to catch up. Eiley down in 0 from Hackney Aquatic Swimming Club.
A lot of the girls in this race, the last time they would have been in this environment was in 2019, sort of pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. So it's nice to see so many swimmers here back in action this morning, getting up and swimming well already. We've seen PBs in the first heat, so the second heat I'm sure will be no different. And it's just nice to see these girls back competing and hoping to qualify for one of those spaces at either the European Youth Olympics, the World Juniors or the European Junior Championships.
Well, the junior ages for women born in 2005 or later, and for men 2004 or later. They have the men come a year early. And, well, a year later, I should say, shouldn't I? Slightly older. But this is a really good swim in lane number 5 for Matilda Bogle of Team Ipswich. Her entry time was her lifetime best at 2:21.7, and she's just gone 2:18.7. So Dave Champion's going to be utterly delighted with that, Coach Champion. And that's a super swim.
Yeah, 3-second PB, another big drop from her entry time. Second in that race was Kate Morris as well in a time of 2:22.1, so she's also under her entry time. And finishing third was Isabel Eiley in lane 0 in a 2:20.33, so really close from those girls there into the wall.
So the next heat is heat 5 of the women's 200 metres backstroke, and of the 10 lanes, 7 of them are juniors. So to qualify as a junior at this British National Championships for women, you've got to be born in 2005 or later. And there are, as I say, there's actually, there's what, 1, 2 swimmers 2005. There's 2 swimmers born in 2006. There's 2 swimmers born in 2007. And Kiana Kurtzer of Warrender, 28th of April, 2008. She's 13.
Yeah, some really young ages from these girls. Lanes 2, 5 and 9. So Lacey, Kiana and Blythe all as well have the opportunity to qualify for that European Youth Olympic Festival.
So the real youngster, the 13-year-old Kiana Kurtzer, goes in lane number 5 from Warrender Bath Club. Her lifetime best 2:21.2. Tilly Hanson-Hamilton of Guildford is the fastest seed in 4. Heat 5 of 9 heats of this women's 200 metres backstroke. Heat 7, 8 and 9 are the seeded heats, with the fastest 30 swimmers cycle seeded around them. And here, heat 5, and in lane number 5, the 13-year-old Kiana Kurtzer started off well with that red hat.
Yeah, really good start from her. Also down in lane 1, Annabella Wilkinson really used that 15 metres underwater and has come up, and these 2 girls really already kind of breaking away from the field. And going with her is also Sophie Weston in lane 3. So 31.73, joint first to 50 there is really quick from these girls.
Well, there are 6 competitions that you can qualify from this meet for the summer, 3 for juniors and 3 for seniors. And for the juniors, we'll concentrate on that here because there's 7 juniors in this race. You can go to the European Junior Championships, possibly the World Juniors, although they haven't moved that from Russia yet. They've cancelled the meet, of course, but they haven't moved it to a new venue, so at the moment it's not on. But European Juniors certainly is. And then there's the European Youth Festival that Amy was talking about. But the qualification time on this 200 back for a junior woman is 2:15.6, which is very quick indeed.
Yeah, really quick time there. Some of these girls will have to take off 2-3 seconds if they want to get close to that. But they've started really well. So fingers crossed they can keep this going. And as we said before, the European Youth Olympic Festival, there's not necessarily a time that those girls achieve. It's simply the fastest 200 swimmer in each event. So these 3 girls that are of that age will be looking to kind of get their hand on the wall first, because it also doesn't matter whether you do that time or, sorry, you're the fastest swimmer in the heat or in the final. It's just the fastest 200 swimmer of that age.
And you started there, didn't you? You had, was that your first international, was the European Youth Festival?
Yes, it was, and I originally qualified in the 200 backstroke and then got picked for the 400 medley and some a few other events. So I came away from the Youth Olympic Festival with a bronze in this 200 backstroke, and that was the race that really taught me a lot actually in my career. Went in thinking I was going to win and came out with a bronze, so I wasn't the happiest.
Well, we just keep an eye on the time. I mean, I think they might be just outside of the European junior qualification time, but this is a really good swim. Very good indeed. In 3 and 5, who's going to get the touch? It looks like it was 3, Sophie Weston, 2:18.4. Well, her lifetime best was 2:20, so well under 2 minutes 20. Skipped the 2:19s, went straight to 2:18.4. Huge lifetime best for her. Tilly Hanson-Hamilton was second in 2:19.9. And good swim from her as well. And third, Annabelle Wilkinson of the city of Sheffield.
Yeah, Kiana Cortez there, one of our Youth Olympic swimmers, so she was the fastest of those 3 girls in the field. So if nobody coming up swims faster than her, she's got a really good chance of being on that team in the summer.
Yes, and Kiana Kurtzer, I missed her actually, didn't I? That's another huge lifetime best from her, the 13-year-old. What a great swim that was. Really special. 13 years of age and you do something like that, come to the national championships. Well, the last time she would have had an opportunity to swim at the senior national championships, she'd have been 10. That's how long ago I mean, there's just not a chance. So a lot of these swimmers never even experienced it. And someone like Kiana Kurtzer come along, and Mitchell Anderson done a super job to get her here, get her in shape, get her ready to go, get the race plan ready, and deliver a huge lifetime best for a 13-year-old. Well done. Last of the unseeded heats in the women's 200 backstroke. Lucy Hitchin of Repton in 4, fastest seed. Again, 6 juniors in this, the last of the unseeded heats for the women's 200 backstroke, and a really good start right at the top there. Caitlin Ebbidge of Tunbridge Swimming Club.
Yeah, lovely start from her. As we keep saying in all these races, the start is quite important. A lot of swimmers maybe think, oh, well, it's just about the swimming, I'm really good at this, and their technical skills are a little bit sort of off the boil. But if you can improve 0.2 on a start, 0.2 on a turn, you just give yourself a really good chance of knocking 0.8 or 9 off a PB without doing any extra training or swimming any faster.
On the technical side, I think the British team has really enjoyed swimming the ISL and seen, well, the Americans do it all the time, don't they, in the short course yards pool. And the NC2As this year was just out of this world. The American College National Championships, some of the stuff that was going on there was amazing. But we've stuck our best Brits in that International Swimming League, and they've done very well. People like Abby Wood and Joe Litchfield's underwaters were really special.
Yeah, they've had the opportunity to not only sharpen the skills up there, but almost show them off to the rest of the world. And both of those athletes have amazing underwaters. We saw Katie Shanahan join London Raw last year, Ed Mildred joined London Raw. So there's been a good group of British athletes getting the chance to swim lots of short course races and sharpen up those skills.
And when you get in there and you get to swim against somebody like Caleb Dressel, who's just, well, I was going to say head and shoulders ahead of the rest of the world, literally, on his starts. I mean, he's just phenomenal, isn't he? It's great to watch.
Yeah, him, Adam Peaty, you know, those swimmers are the best swimmers in the world. They're so such skillful swimmers, really technically good, really strong as well.
Well, there's a junior at the bottom here, Rue Fowler of Team Bath. And again, just to keep a little eye on the time, because I think they might be just outside that European consideration time, but they're starting to push it.
Yeah, nice to come down this last 50. This is when it starts to hurt, really, and with 25 metres to go, you want to keep your head back, you want to keep your stroke long and really work those legs.
Abby Lowe leading in lane 5, but coming back in 4 is Lucy Hitchin of Repton. So it's those two swimmers, it looks like, coming in to the touch. Who's going to get the touch? Oh, I'll tell you what, that was close. Lucy Hitchin got it from Repton, 2:19.5. And second was Abby Lowe. Third, Neem James of Bishop Stortford. Well, they're starting to wind up, and we're now into the fastest 3 heats of this women's 200 metres backstroke. Just see the results of that last heat, heat 6. Lucy Hitchin wins it, Abby Lowe second, Neem James third, 2:19.5 wins it. Slightly slower heat, that one. But the big guns now will be in, and Honey Osrin will be the fastest seed representing Loughborough University. And suddenly the times dropped from 2:18s and 19s to 2:10 on her lifetime best in lane 4.
Yeah, Honey was the European junior silver medalist in this event a couple of years ago. So this is her preferred event. She also does 100 back, and we saw it in that earlier this week.
We did. She was second in the B final on the 100 backstroke, 62.4. She swam there. She goes in lane number 4. Black Cat in lane 4. So the first of the seeded heats in this women's 200 backstroke, Honey Osrin of Loughborough goes in 4, and 5 is Holly McGill of Heart of Midlothian, a junior in 5 actually. But a really good start from Honey Osrin. Second in the B final. I think she probably would have preferred to have been in the A final, just snuck into the A final, but ended up coming 10th. But here, as you say, Amy, better 200 backstroke, and she's got a lovely stroke, isn't she?
Yeah, she was certainly capable of being in that A final, but sometimes things just don't go your way. If you mess up your finish and you give away 0.1, that's the big difference in a 100-metre event. So her 200 backstroke is a preferred event, as we say, European junior sort of world-class athlete. So she's looking really good here, and she does have such a lovely stroke, nice and long, nice and flat.
And she was a prolific medley swimmer, backstroke swimmer as a junior. And well, was a junior. She's still only 19 years of age, but just now having to make that breakthrough. She's gone through the junior ranks and swam really well, now into the seniors. And she looks good, coming into this meter's third-ranked woman in the 200 meters backstroke. And she turns in 65.4. So this is comfortable, maybe down the first 100 for, but she looks good.
Yeah, looking really good, and it's interesting you talk about that transition from junior to senior swimming. It's not easy, and not every athlete will go straight from European Junior Championships to a major Commonwealth Games or a World Championships or even an Olympics. So it can be a little bit tricky for those athletes that think they're, well, have swum really well as a junior and then kind of get a little bit lost, don't really make teams. And it's nice when you see a swimmer come here, swim really well, and almost regardless of their chance to make a Worlds, they get in and just give it their best.
Well, she's looking comfortable here. It'd be good for Honey just to make sure that she gets in the first or second spot to give herself the best chance of making it through to the final. Of course, it's all on time, so the fastest 8 after the heats will go through to the final. And a really good final 50 meters here from Holly McGill of Heart of Midlothian. This is a really good second 100 meters. She's going to go about, what, 2:12 or so? 2:13, maybe 2:13.2. Holly McGill wins the first of the seeded heats. Second, Honey Osmond, 2:14.6. And third, down in lane 1, Liam Ward of Team Bath, 2:15.9. Very good second 100, though, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, all smiles from Holly there this morning. And PB, first smile, second smile as she swam that European Junior consideration time. So under that by 3 seconds in the end.
3 seconds, that's extraordinary, underneath the European qualifying time, because they're not easy times at all. 2:15.6 for a junior, and she's just gone 2:13.2. And the second 100, I mean, she really took off. I wonder if in the final she's going to try and push that first 100 a little bit more.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what she went out in on the first 100. A lot of the time you kind of, well, not negative split 200 backstroke, but it's quite often that you'll see swimmers really evenly pace that. It's quite difficult to swim backstroke fast and controlled and relaxed. So I was one of those swimmers that used to almost even split a 200 backstroke.
Well, even splitting 200 backstroke, certainly not easy. That was the call room. The guys starting to marshal and getting ready for the men's 100 meters butterfly. Here we go. There's some big lads in there. And you know the interesting thing about this, they used to, at the Olympics, they put the chairs right next to each other. Sensibly here, there's a little bit of a gap. At the Olympic Games, they stick them right next to each other. Well, they used to anyway. And the guys are like 6'6", 6'7". Well, their elbows just don't fit. You don't fit next to a big guy sitting like that. And the little nudges and the digs in the ribs and stuff, it just gets a bit silly. But do they stick the chairs next to each other in Tokyo?
I think so, but a lot of the time you'll see some athletes stood up, some sat down, so you don't tend to notice if it gets too busy in there.
Katia Avramova of Ealing represents Turkey. She goes as the fastest seed in the second last heat. And that bright pink suit in lane number 4 for Ekaterina Avramova. Good start from her, also a very good start from Iona Colbert up in lane number 8. Won the junior final of the 100 meters backstroke. And her family's having a really great meet, aren't they?
Yeah, her and her sister Freya both swimming really well. Iona made the European junior time in the 100 backstroke, so the pressure's off a little bit here, and she'll just be wanting to post another quick time this morning. And entry time of 2:17.57, so she's got 2 seconds to take off if she's going to do that junior consideration time, but the way she's swimming, she should be quite close to that, I'd imagine.
Well, there are 3 juniors in this second last heat in lane number 2. Of course, 0 at the bottom, so it's the third swimmer up is in lane 2, Anna Green of Warrender Baths Club. And in 3, the fourth swimmer up from the bottom in that white hat is Evie Dilly of Borough of Stockton, and then Iona Colbert in lane 8, one from the left-hand side there in the green hat of Nova Centurion. But at the halfway turn, it's Charlotte Evans, 64.6. That's pretty quick. Second was Anna Green. Third was Katia Avramova.
Yeah, nice start from these girls. Charlotte's really kind of showing her 100-meter strength. She was the winner of the B final just a couple of days ago, and she looks really good here, and she's looking like she's trying to push on and get close to her personal best time of 2:10.
Well, she really does look good, and she started moving. The pink suitor Katia Avramova's also starting to wind it up a little bit as well. She's been World Championship semi-finalist out in Shanghai in 2011. I remember watching her do that, coached by Dave Heathcock, but really good first 150. And can she hold on down this last 50?
Yeah, this is where it starts to hurt in 200 backstroke. You really go to the legs, but Evie Dilly's having a really good last 100 metres here. She wasn't out the fastest, but she's certainly working hard now.
Well, Dilly in the black suit, just this side of those two yellow lane lines. She is a junior, and so she can do the European consideration time as well, which is 2:15.6. So it'll be interesting to see whether she can go under that. It looks like she's going to be right on it. Katia Avramova looks like she's going to get the touch. She does, 2:14.5. Charlotte Evans second, and Evie Dilly at 2:15.55 makes it by 0.08 of a second underneath that European junior consideration time. Well done.
Yeah, really nice swimming from her. She was out quite slow, really. She split 66.71 to the turn. So if she can maybe edge a fraction at the beginning of the race, there's no doubt she can't go a lot faster than 2:15.55, but really, really good swimming from her.
So Cassie winning that second last heat, but she won't be allowed to swim in the finals. It's the British National Championships. It's open in the heats, but for the finals, we only allow British swimmers to go through to the finals, trying to maximise the opportunity for British swimmers in the British National Championships. Absolutely the right thing to do. So that was Katia Avramova's final, really, 2:14.5, the Dave Heathcock swimmer. And the final heat of the women's 200 backstroke, and Katie Shanahan of City of Glasgow already achieved the qualification standard for the Commonwealth Games. A good 100 metres backstroker, was 7th on the 100, but I think better on the 200 backstroke.
Yeah, she has such a lovely stroke in the backstroke. She's also a really good medley swimmer, and that's where she really makes her ground. So a 200 backstroke of 2:09.9 she swam last year.
Well, sub 2:10 would put her as the fastest seed into the final this evening. And really good start from the Wickham swimmer in lane number 2, Amelia Sansom. And that's very good skills. Just taking it relatively steady down those first 25 metres. Also going well up in lane 7 is Daisy Anderson of Sevenoaks.
Yeah, these girls you'd expect to be a little bit tighter now coming into these last few heats. So we're on heat 9, which is the last seeded heat this morning. So they've seen Charlotte post the time beforehand. They may swim within themselves. They may be looking to really push on. So we'll just have to see how this race kind of unfolds.
I have to say, I used to find the 200 back one of the most brutal events just because it's so hard on your legs. And once your legs go, your body position changes really badly. Your legs sink, and then you're swimming through almost like a pleasure boat rather than a speedboat, and it really is hard to get through the water. So you've got to have super fit legs, and 2, maybe just favour your arms in the first 100 metres. Did you do that, or did you just keep it balanced?
Yeah, I used to use a lot of upper body strength at the beginning of the race. For me, I used to focus a lot on my core, so keeping my core nice and high, which would pull my hips up, which would pull my feet up. So you're then using the full chain from your fingertips all the way to your toes. If you let that middle bit get a bit sloppy, it's when your legs hurt and then your arms fall off, and it becomes really sort of unrhythmical. And backstroke swimming is all about being smooth and being nice and controlled.
Well, very controlled is Shanahan in the centre, now coming through in that yellow lane, in lane 4, the fastest seed. And that 50, she's really worked it well. A little slow with her feet over, but it's a good underwater. 4 or 5 underwater kicks there. And a really good third 50. Holding on those Chloe Golding of Sheffield.
Yeah, Chloe had a really nice turn there, maximised about 12 metres, I think it was, underwater. So what you want to be really thinking about on that last turn.
Well, this is a very, very solid swim. This is looking good for Shanahan. She is going to win this final heat of the women's 200 metres backstroke. The time just outside 2:10, 2:12.99. 2:14 for Golding, 2:15.8 for Daisy Anderson of Sevenoaks. So it'll be interesting to see who makes the final. Not the fastest set of heats in the women's 200 metres backstroke that we've ever seen, but this is a really interesting year, that year after the Olympic Games, with some of our big swimmers. Kathleen Dawson pre-qualified already for the World Championships this year, so she's not here, doesn't need to go particularly quickly.
Yeah, Cassie Wilds also chose not to swim this event, so there's a little bit of an opening there. So Katie Shanahan finishing first in a time 2:12.99.
So there we go. Shanahan goes in fastest, just 28 100ths ahead of Molly McGill of Heart of Midlothian. And at the moment, well, I don't think Kasia Avramova will go through. So the 9th swimmer, Liam Ward of Team Bath, I think she will get through to the big final, the A final, and therefore Rachel Anderson will go through to the B final as well. So some interesting swims. Not the quickest set of heats this morning. There were so many fireworks last night. Maybe it's just a little bit of a hangover from last night, Amy.
Yeah, that final session last night was spectacular. We then finished on Lewis's Burrows' 100-meter freestyle, 0.01 off the British record that Duncan Scott set. So all of those boys in that race last night were firing, and it was really close. And to see Lewis swim well and swim that well, and you could tell how much it meant to him last night, was really special to see.
Well, it was fantastic, and I think he's slayed a lot of demons in that. He's had a tough period here. So there's the ready room for the men's 100 meters butterfly. I have to say, it's a very relaxed ready room. They really are. I've got to note the haircut of the chap on the right, sitting in the back row on the right-hand side. That is a serious haircut. We'll see him fairly shortly. And with a haircut like that, I think we said you've got to swim quick. I think he won the B final of the 100 meters freestyle, but nothing less will do with a haircut like that, will it? I hope he's told his mum. So, heats 8 of 14. There's 14 heats of the men's 100 meters butterfly. The first 7 heats, the slowest 7 heats, will actually be swum at lunchtime. And this is heat 8. There is no lane 8. So Charlie Bream of Leeds has withdrawn, but the fastest seed is Liam Dawson of Royal Wolverhampton in lane number 4.
Yeah, lane 6 has had a really nice start here, Harry Shalamon. So it's what you really want to be thinking about in these 100-meter events. You haven't got time to really settle into the race, but both of these boys there that have popped out ahead have had a really good turn.
So it is Shalamon of Loughborough University looking really strong. Well, his entry time was 57.2. He's going to go quite a bit faster than that if he keeps this up. He looks very powerful. Let's see if he can get his head down inside this last 5 meters. 3 strokes, no breather. 4 strokes, no breather. That's good discipline. And 55.21 is the result. And that is 2 seconds underneath his lifetime best. Wow, that is awesome swimming.
Really impressive. He sort of led that race from the beginning, got in, had a good start, really nice turn, just flew the whole way down that 100 meters fly.
Well, he looked very fresh indeed at the end, didn't he? Harry Shalamon winning the first of the heats in this morning's session. It is heat 8 in 55.21. George Barber second, Kieran Grant third, 56.69, Liam Dawson fourth. Well, we've got James Guy coming up fairly shortly. Really looking forward to seeing what he can do, but there's a bunch of other Olympians and several swimmers going to want to make sure that they can make it through so that represent the home nations at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Home games, always fun. So this is heat 9 of the men's 100 meters butterfly, and a decent start in 3 it was from James Cleaver of Beckenham.
Yeah, really nice start from him there. You see really the difference in having a good start versus maybe being a little bit slow off the box. So also reaction time, super important in these sprint events.
So lane 2, it looks like, is maybe just going to be touching first. Lane 3, excuse me, lane 3 it is. So it's James Cleaver out quickly, decent underwater as well, and let's see if he can bring it back. We had a 55 in the first heat. Let's see what we can have here.
Yeah, looking really strong from these boys. You know that you've got to step up and swim fast in the heats if you want to make it back in one of those 4 finals. So mixture of junior swimmers here that might even progress slightly higher into that priority Paris or even the B or the A finals if they're quick enough.
So it is in lane number 3. It is James Cleaver, another 55.62 for the Beckenham man this time. And that is, again, another 1.2 second lifetime best. Yeah, well done. They are knocking them out of the park at the moment. 2 second lifetime best on 100 in the first heat, and then 1.2 in the second one. Really good swimming. Look at that. Cleaver wins it. Tucker second, 55.62. A huge swim.
Yeah, then just 0.04 split in second to fourth there. So really, really tight race. And there we see James Guy just chilling out in the ready room. Doesn't look too stressed this morning.
No, just doing his hair, making sure it's looking beautiful for the cameras. He's a beautiful man, isn't he? I have to say, 2 Olympic gold medals. You can look like whatever you want to. So heat 10 of this 100 meters butterfly, and the swimmer in lane number 4, Riccardo Lucarelli of Mount Kelly, has withdrawn. So only 9 swimmers in this heat, and the guys in the centre, it looks like Wooldridge in 5 and Elric in 3 going well.
Yeah, nice to see these boys stepping up. In lane 5, Dominic Woolridge there in a really nice turn, but just nips it at the turn is Alec White in lane 0, 25.35.
Well, staying nice and flat. A lot of these guys breathing every stroke or every 2 strokes, but if you can get your head down a little bit and use your energy to go forwards rather than use it to go up and down to get the breath. And up there in lane number 5, Dominic Woolridge of City of Cardiff looking good. His lifetime best is 54.3. That is a very quick fastest time. Season's best is 56.6. That is a 1 second season's best. A really good swim from Dominic Wooldridge. He wins it. Sam Greenbank is second, 55.95, and that's a super swim from him. Another lifetime best from him. Well done, sir.
Yeah, 0.6 of a personal best there from Samuel Greenbank. It's nice to see these boys stepping up, and as we said, we've had lots of PBs so far. So behind him in third was Stefan Krawick from East Lothian, 56.03, followed by a 56.08 from Jacob. So another really tight race there between second and fourth.
So the last of the unseeded heats. We have 14 heats in total. The fastest 30 swimmers are spread evenly across the last 3 heats. And this is the 4th last heat. So let's see what James Woodward can do of Hatfield. He's the fastest seed in this heat 11. Woodward in 4, Aaron Fox in 5. And Aaron Fox, a little bit slow reaction to the gun, but comes up well. Well, if he'd reacted a little bit quicker, got off the blocks a little bit quicker, he would have had the best start, that red hat in the centre, and he looks very strong down this first 30.
Yeah, both of these boys in the yellow lanes there with a really high stroke rate, breathing everyone, getting a nice propulsion forwards. As Andy said before, they're not going up and down on every stroke.
Well, he's hit the wall reasonably well there. That's Aaron Fox in 5 from City of Sheffield, up pretty quick. And lifetime best for these guys, 55s and 56s. And they're looking pretty good at the moment. Very smooth from Fox.
Yeah, anything sub 25 in the first 50 of 100 fly isn't bad. So these boys really pushing on now.
James Woodward coming back well in lane 4, the fastest seed. His lifetime best is 55.40, and he's going to be well under that. 54.7. What a great swim. Well under the 55. So 55.4 is his best. And you'd hope maybe if he swims really well, he could just duck under 55. 54.72. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think he even had maybe 0.2 or 3 in him there as well. He got a little bit short to the finish, kind of didn't know how to time it, and just threw 2 small strokes in. He finishes first there with a time of 54.72.
Well, there is Jacob Peters. He goes as the fastest seed in the second last heat, representing Poole Swimming Club. And he's in the heat after this one. The swimmer's just making sure, absolutely ready. I was fascinated to see how early Adam Peaty puts his goggles on. Really early, way back. So this heat 12 of the men's 100 meters butterfly, the first of the seeded heats, and Ed Mildred in lane number 4. Archie Goodburn in 5. Jade Lelliott swam a really good 200 meters butterfly. He's up in lane 7.
Yeah, some really good fly swimmers in here. Archie Goodburn actually qualified for the Commonwealth Games team with 100 breaststroke on day 1, the 50 breaststroke. So he'll be looking to add another event to his list of swims this summer.
And Mildred looking very good down this first 50. Well, his best time and his season's best, he swam it this year, is 52.26. And he's not hanging around at all. This means business. Look at this.
Yeah, he was super quick around that wall. Not only quick, but he was nice and low and tight. So he's carried that speed from this first 50 and massively into the second one.
Very interesting, breathing every stroke as well. He really is hammering down. He's very smooth, just starting to tie up a little bit. Didn't quite hit the wall on a full stroke, but 52.7. Maybe he can, about 10 meters out, maybe try and spot that wall a little bit better, a little bit crabby on the final stroke, but 52.7 is only half a second outside of his lifetime best in the heat, and he won that heat by a good long way. It's an impressive swim.
Yeah, really impressive swim, and we've got James Guy coming up as well, so there's some big boys in the next couple of heats, so you want to get in and post a quick time. Finishing first there was Ed in a 52.71. James Carswell following just behind that in a 53.6, and third was 54.16 from Jay Elliott.
Well, it's going, yeah, not too bad at all. Double Olympic champion, men's 4x200 freestyle relay, and then that utterly stunning leg on the mixed medley relay where he swam the fly. 50.0 his split was, the third fastest man in history. Only Caleb Dressel and Michael Phelps have swum faster than James Guy on a relay. Second last heat, the men's 100 fly. Jacob Peters of Poole. We saw him in the ready room getting prepared for this 100 meters butterfly. He's got a job to do because the World Championship consideration time is 51.3, just under his lifetime best. So I'm sure he'll have a crack at that tonight, but he's got one job to do really here, and it's make it through to the final.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to be messing things up in this morning, sort of missing out the A final, ending up in the B final. So these boys will be getting in and swimming fast, and Jacob's done that. But what a lovely turn that was from Jamie Ingram in lane 5, just to put himself right back in the race there.
Well, Ingram in the black hat is looking good. Peters in the red hat of Poole. So it's the black hat of the City of Manchester swimmer, Jamie Ingram, coming back well. But Peters has reacted well as well. So it's Peters in 4. Is he going to get the touch right? A little bit of a glide. He's got it, though. 52.56 wins it. 52.77 from Ingram. That's a new lifetime best for him. He should be really pleased with that. And third, Josh Gammon in a 54.0. So 52.5 wins that heat, and 52.5 and 52.7 pretty quick.
Yeah, really close. Jacob will want to sharpen up that finish tonight. Finishing in a 52.56. Jamie, as we said, just behind him with a 52.77, and Joshua Gammon from Bath finishes in a time of 54.02. Here he is, James Guy, third fastest relay swimmer split in history.
Double Olympic champion. So emotional as well, I have to say. I just loved his emotions, not only for his own races, but when his teammate Tom Dean won the individual 200 freestyle. What did they nickname him? James Cry?
Emotional.
He said. He told me that. I'm not telling tales out of school. He was brilliant. Look at that start in 5. Lewis Fraser, absolute lightning off the blocks and underwater to 15. James Guy now going with him. And those two guys in the yellow lanes, Guy closer to us, Fraser one lane up in 4 and 5, looking good.
Yeah, both of these boys looking really good here. James got a massively higher stroke than he did in the 200, but we know he's strong down the back end of this race because his 200 is so good. So we'll expect to see him just keep pulling and pulling and pulling away, I'd imagine.
Well, that's a really good split as well, 24.0. Well, we're just going to have to keep an eye on the British record. It is his British record, which he set 5 years ago in Budapest, and 50.67 it is. But he looks very good indeed. He's breathing every stroke. He's going to stick his head down in the center, a second, I would imagine. No, he's not. He's just going to breathe all the way through. 51.68, 1 second outside of his lifetime best, and just, what, 0.3 of a second outside of the world consideration time. I'm sure he's going to have a big crack at that in the final this evening.
Yeah, he looked really good there, quite comfortable, even though he's breathing every one, and you might think, oh, that looks like hard work. Once you get into that rhythm on butterfly, you just keep ticking over and over and over, and he's using his legs down that first 50 to hold the pace. Sorry, on the second 50 to hold the pace from the first 50, so to drop 0.3 tonight isn't a big ask, really.
Winning that final heat pretty comfortably in the end. 51.68 wins it. 53.51 Lewis Fraser second. I think he'll make it through to the final with that, though. It's a very good swim from Fraser. Just outside of his lifetime best, but it was a very good heat. So there's the summary. Top 8 will go through. So James Guy goes in fastest, and then look how close it is after that for those next 3. Peters, Mildred, Ingram, and then Jay Elliott just getting in. And Greg Swinney will be fastest for the B final. The top 16, 9 to 16 will go in the B final. So Jacob Jackson gets in for a City of Birmingham. We've also got another final for those swimmers born 2001 and younger for the Priority Paris final. And then there's a junior final as well. So 32 swimmers will come back tonight. Good to see so many people swimming in the final, having an opportunity to come back and prepare, not only prepare themselves and do their own thing, but also watch these big guys, because it is so much fun. Do you remember when you were a kid coming into nationals, a real young, in places like this, the Ready Room?
Yeah, you're excited to be here. You're almost kind of looking up to some of those idols that you see, and you want to kind of emulate them and be like them. So it's great that you can almost learn a little bit from them as well while you're here.
So women's 100 meters freestyle. And straight into heat 7. So only 6 heats in this morning's heats of the women's 100 meters freestyle. So heats 1 to 6 actually will be swum at lunchtime, and this is heats 7 to 12. And Abby Lowe of Loughborough University, fastest seed in lane 4. In 3, Isabel Goodwin of Leeds gone well.
Yeah, she had a nice start there. Isabel last year swam at the European Juniors in the 50, 100 and 200 butterfly. So mixing things up here with the 100 freestyle. But really good start there from lane 2. Jessica called bank in a time 27.59, sorry, to split to 50.
Oh, and she's a real youngster as well, isn't she? She's only 14 years of age, so I think we could see her potentially going to the European Youth Olympics. This 100 meters isn't a selection event for the European Youth Olympics. They do choose on the 200s of the stroke and then a 400 medley, but she's going really well in 2 from Manchester Aquatics. And Amy, this is a really impressive swim. It looks like first is Isabel Goodwin, 58.15. So that's a new lifetime best for her. Second was Jessica Colbank of Manchester, and a new lifetime best for her as well. So some really good swimming.
Yeah, really quick there. And just coming in third was Maisie Guilford from Mount Kelly, 58.61. Not much split in these swimmers again, sort of third to fifth, 0.1 of a second. So those finishes and those skills are really important as the events get shorter.
PBs for the first 3 finishes. Very good. Well, we normally talk about season's best, but here there's plenty of those, but there's an awful lot of lifetime best going on as well. It really is. This is heat 8 of 12. Jess Podger of Loughborough University, the fastest seed in lane 4, but Lucy Grieve in lane number 3 looked very good indeed on the start.
Yeah, really nice start from her, 100 fly European Junior finalist from last summer. So we are seeing some of these juniors coming into this first session this morning, swimming quite fast and almost trying to get up there and make those Priority Paris finals and those A and B finals, because now they're slightly too old to be in some of those junior finals.
So up there in lane number 7, it is Rebecca Watts. She's looking good. Also down in 2, it's Rebecca Sutton. And Rebecca Sutton swimming really well. Coming back in 4 now is Jess Podger. And Podger, very powerful freestyle. Long, rangy, strong freestyle stroke. And breathing every 4 strokes inside this last 25 meters. She's bringing it home. And her lifetime best, 57.8. And she's going to go well under that, 56.8. Another full second underneath the lifetime best. God, the lifetime bests are dropping like flies, aren't they? Amazing stuff.
Yeah, you expect to see maybe a few season's best, as we said before, but personal best in the heat is really good for a lot of these swimmers, and they know if they want to be back tonight, they've got to put in a good swim this morning to make one of those 4 finals. So Jess Podger there finishing first, 56.88. 56.99 was Rebecca Sutton, and Georgina was third in 58.05.
So heat 9, the last of the unseeded heats. Sophie Freeman of Plymouth in lane 4. Alice Deering in 3.
Yeah, our open water Tokyo specialist doing 100 meters freestyle.
So she certainly has the full range. She did 10,000 meters in Tokyo Bay at the Olympic Games in the open water. And bigging her up, she's actually withdrawn from the race. There we go. So Alice Deering decided that 100 meters is a little bit short for her. Prefers 10,000 meters. Well, you would, wouldn't you, if you could? Up there in lane number 8, though, Katie Latham of Bromley, probably the best start in the white hats.
Yeah, nice to see these swimmers really work in that 15 metres underwater. She's got a lovely long stroke here, slightly straight arm, but the leg kick on these swimmers already is really powerful.
So into the turn and really quick down the first 50. Can she hold on? As she can, Katie Latham is going to have an absolute cracker here. She is a junior, so she can be considered for the European Junior Championships. The qualification consideration time, those really quick. 53.98. I mean, that's lightning, but she looks great.
Yeah, she's having a really good swim here. Personal best time of 55.83, so fingers crossed for her.
Just got to bring it home. She's going to swim about, what, maybe a 56, 57 here. Slightly slower heat than we've seen so far. 57.31 from Katie Latham. Second was Charlotte Berry of City of Sheffield. Third, Madeline Robertson. So interesting, a slightly slower heat than we've seen. But a little bit of a shake of the head there for Katie Latham in lane 8. There's Freya, though. Oh, she's got a serious face on, isn't she? Look at that.
Yeah, she's not always serious. You do see Freya smile, but before the race, she's pretty kind of in the zone. She's ready to go, and she'll be wanting to swim well this morning here and post a quick time in the 100 free heats.
I'd love to tell her a dad joke and just see how she reacts.
Pan face.
Exactly. I think I'd get that really, Dad. Well, she won't say dad to me, but you know what I mean. Well, she is in heat 11 of 12, so she's in the heats after this one now. This is heat 10, the first of the seeded heats, and it's a real quickie. Look at that. Hindley in 5, Hope in 4, Abby Wood in 3, Freya Colbert in 2, Tane Bruce up there in 6 as well. This is a stacked heat. So the fastest seed is the Scottish record holder in lane number 4. It's Lucy Hope of University of Stirling.
Yeah, but really good start there in the pink suit, lane 3, Abby Wood. We knew she'd be out quick. She really has that excellent underwater frequency of her kick, and her legs are going like the clappers already down this first length.
Well, Scottish swimmers in lanes 4 and 6, both looking to try and achieve the Scottish qualification time for the Commonwealth Games, which is 55.16 in 4 and 6. But as first to turn was actually Lucy Hope in lane number 4, and she's going well. To Abby Wood's turn, really good in that pink suit. And look at this second 50 from Abby.
Yeah, we saw Abby win the 200 free a couple of days ago on day 1, and she's just such a strong finish, so we knew she'd be coming back now on Lucy here.
And so versatile. Olympic finalist, 200 breaststroke, 200 IM, won the 200 free here, won the 200 breast here, and she's going to win this heat going straight arm at the end on the 100 metres freestyle. 55.16 wins it, 55.46 was second, and 55.57 was third.
Yeah, PB there from Abby Wood. She'll enjoy that one. 55.16. Her PB before this coming in was 55.77. So 0.5, 0.6 is a massive personal best, especially as you're getting a little bit older, and she's also swum a lot of events this week, so really good from her.
And interesting, the time that Abby Wood set to win that was actually the Scottish qualification time. So Lucy Hope and Tane Bruce both got to try and do the time of the speed that Abby Wood swam to win that first of the seeded heats of the women's 100 free. And here is Freya Anderson, Olympic gold medalist, swam the heats, the freestyle leg of the heats of that mixed medley relay, allowing Anna Hopkins to rest and produce an unbelievable swim in the final. She's in 4, Tamrin Van Selm in 3, Anderson in 4, Emma Russell in 5, another Scot, Maddie Harris in 6. Maddie Harris in 6 won the 100 metres backstroke and broke the Welsh record. Georgie Davis's Welsh record on the 100 backstroke earlier this year. An amazing swim from her, that was.
Yeah, she had a really good swim the other week, but up next to her is Emma Russell, and then the fastest seed leading the way out here is Freya Anderson. So she's just showing her class this morning in this heat, and she looks really strong into the first 50 there. Maybe breathes a little bit high round coming into that wall and lose a little bit of momentum, but she's just such a phenomenal swimmer. She's got the capacity to be able to make those tiny mistakes and still be so far ahead of the field.
Well, she's so strong as well. It's such a lovely stroke, and she seems to have been going slightly up in distance, focusing a little bit more on the 200s and the 400s in the off-season. Looking very well, very good indeed inside this last 10. Maybe just tying up a little bit. She was out very quick. Let's see if she can go under 55. just right on it. 55.05 wins it for Freya Anderson. 55.67 for Tamron Van Selm. And third was Medi Harris, 55.84. A new lifetime best for her coming in third. So there's confirmation of the result. A good swim from Freya Anderson, 55.0.
Yeah, nice from her. She'd be looking to come and take a chunk off that tonight, I'd imagine. And fourth there was Emma Russell at a time of 56.02. So she was part of that gold medal winning Europeans team last year. So it'll be good to see her in the final too, hopefully.
And there was a picture of Anna Hopkin. She's the fastest seed in this women's 100 metres freestyle. Our Olympic champion anchored that wonderful relay at the Olympic Games in Tokyo, that mixed medley relay to a world record. We saw that team get their world record certificates last night. Brilliant celebration that was. Hopkin in 4. So Eva Okada, she's having a super meet. She's in 3. Anna Hopkin in 4. 5 is Evelyn Davis. Erin Little, what's for her? A junior up in lane number 7 for Mount Kelly.
What a start here from Anna Hopkins. She popped up, straight arm. We know she'd be quick to 50, as a 50 is her, well, in the past was her sort of main event, but she's so versatile now with 100 as well, and she's really showing her class here. Nice and tight and quick around that turl, and bang, 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 bang off the wall with those flag kicks. And she is sort of taken, what, 2 meters out the rest of the field on 100 free.
And look at that stroke as well. Really good straight arm stroke. It's so hard on the shoulders. You've got to be extraordinarily powerful to do it. This is a really good swim, you know. Let's just keep an eye on the time. This is a really good swim. British record, well, the British record is 52.86. We're just going to be outside that, but it's a great swim. 54.6 from Anna Hopkin. She wins it comfortably. We'll go through to the final fastest. Second was Evelyn Davis, 56 flat. Candice Hall, third, 56.35, and Erin Little of Mount Kelly, 56.47, just outside of the junior European consideration time.
Yeah, some quick swims from those girls there in the centre lanes. Evelyn Davis looking to make that Commonwealth Games team this summer. Hopefully either the individual free or part of the 4x1. So tonight that'll be a really quick race, and I imagine Abby, Anna, Freya, there'll be a battle in the middle for those medals.
So there are the qualifiers for the final. Anna Hopkin goes in comfortably fastest, nearly half a second ahead of Freya Anderson. Abby Wood looked good too. Hindley's in there. Lucy Hope will be looking to try and make that qualification standard this evening for the Scots. Evelyn Davis as well will be in the big final. And then 9 through 16, Tane Bruce again. We're looking at Scottish qualification time. Freya Colbert's had a wonderful meet so far as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, fantastic. 400 medley from her, 200 free from her, and I think that was also a small PB this morning.
And that's an amazing double that she had to do, wasn't it? 200 free and then 400 medley. I think it was that order, wasn't it?
Yeah, the 100 freestyle seems almost too easy.
Well, goodness me, well, the mental approach, and what really floored me was just the way she did the interview with John Mason downstairs, didn't she? And she was just really bubbly and very, very positive. Look at this. This is where, that's a proper go. Look at him. He's ready to go, isn't he? Look at that. Right on it. So the first of the heats in this session of the men's 200 metres breaststroke is heat 5. Heats 1 to 4 will be swum this afternoon in the series of heats with the slightly slower qualification times. But this heat 5 of 11, so there's 7 heats of the men's 200 metres breaststroke, and in the final heat we'll see James Wilby, our Olympic silver medalist, of course, swam that the heats of the men's 4x100 medley relay, the breaststroke legs, so we could rest Adam Peaty for the final, and Adam Peaty then went on and swam the fastest split in history. So such a good idea it was to have someone, what a great opportunity for Great Britain to have someone as quick as James Wilby as your B swimmer.
Yeah, if you're going to have a backup behind Adam, James is almost, well, he is the next best thing. He's won world medals before, Commonwealth gold in 2018 and the 200 breaststroke. So you know he's strong and you know he'll fight and won't give up. So Adam kind of leaves that in safe hands for Wilby to take over first thing and get those positions in the heats.
Well, it's the first of the heats in this session of the men's 200 breaststroke, and the wonderfully named Mackenzie Cannon up in lane number 9 has gone off like an absolute shot.
Yeah, really nice technique, though. He's nice and long. Kind of Canon reference shot there. Just got it. Sorry. That was almost lost on me.
I was waving my hands like, what are you on about? You missed my...
I was like, oh, yeah, we got there in the end.
I bet his family's never heard that before. But anyway, he swam really well down the first 100.
Yeah, and really nice split from him. He's just got really long stroke here. Be nice to see if he can hang on to this in the second 100 part of the race. It's getting a little bit tight, and some of these boys in the centre are really working hard and coming through now.
So they are coming back pretty quickly, particularly in those yellow lanes, the centre lanes, the fastest two seeded swimmers in 4 and 5, the two red hats. But a really good third 50 metres there in 3 from the city of Birmingham. Valencia, very quick swim indeed with that white hat, and also right at the bottom, almost missed him. That's Charles Kershaw of Loughborough University. Well, he's snuck under the radar. Look at that down in lane 0.
Yeah, the third 50 is so important in 200 breaststroke. It's kind of make or break. Sometimes, as I say, you can't really see those swimmers breaking away from the rest of the field, and down there in lane 0, he's certainly kept out the way.
So Abalencia, James Abalencia of the city of Birmingham in lane number 3, going really well. And it looks like he may well get the touch. It's going to be pretty close. Who gets it? It's actually Charles Kershaw in lane 0. Kershaw gets it 2:25.54. And just 18 100ths behind him was James Abalencia of the city of Birmingham in second. Third, Buddy Deeks of Newcastle.
Yeah, thumbs up. His personal best coming into this was 2:27.99, and he hadn't done that for a while. And with his season's best being 29.2, so to come in and take 4 seconds off this year and 2 seconds off your personal best, a great swim. Just behind him, James there from the city of Birmingham, finishing at 2:25.72.
Well, it's not normal to break personal best at the rate that we're doing and by such massive chunks, but that's why British Swimming has put so many swimmers, allowed so many swimmers to swim here. 1,500 entries we've had. It's been, I think, the biggest senior national championships in history. 4,000 swims. It's certainly been a busy one from the commentary perspective, but it's been really fun. No swimmer. Well, excuse me, no swimmer. I was just about to say no swimmer in lane number 5, but he was underwater. Beautiful glide underwater, and he suddenly appeared, and he appeared in front. What a great start that was in lane 5.
Yeah, in breaststroke as well, there isn't really a 15-metre rule. You can maximise 20 metres underwater if you're capable of doing that, and you're obviously carrying speed. So no wonder you kind of lost him for a second there.
Nikolai Kutoriansky of Reading. Really interesting start. He did go quite deep because I can see most of the lane from here, but he was underneath that, so he must have gone quite deep, but took really good momentum through and came up in the lead, and is that red hat right in the centre, and he's looking very good. Also up there in lane 7 is Jack Iverson of Cockermouth. Sean Bulmer, the coach up there, and I can't say enough about the programme that those guys have got, and the attitude and the approach of the swimmers and the parents and all the way through, the people who look after the pool. It's such a great programme they've got. Certainly the coaching staff, utterly brilliant.
Yeah, they have a small pool there. I'm not even sure whether it's got proper lane ropes in it. So, you know, if you can swim well there in training, you're going to come to a pool like Ponds Forge and swim well here.
Well, they've certainly got lane ropes, but what they achieve is quite phenomenal. And it toughens you up a little bit sometimes. I think if you swim with anti-wave lane ropes in training, you sometimes get a little bit spoiled. So once in a while, you should, if you do, just try swimming with actual ropes in there. It's really choppy, and it toughens you up.
Yeah, I swam at 2 pools when I was younger. One of them had anti-wave lane ropes, one of them had just the rope, and you could tell the difference when you went from one pool to the next. Your times were off, your splits were off, and it was like swimming in a bathtub.
Well, this is a very good swim indeed. The second 100 here from Zach Westhead from Farnham. He looks very good. Quite high on his recovery and diving into the stroke.
Yeah, he's diving down a little bit, but he is keeping those hips up at the end of the stroke. If he was diving down but not getting back into streamline, then you'd be a little bit worried, but really nice technique.
So Westhead in 3, Radu in 4 of Plymouth Leander, but it's Westhead going to win this heat number 6 of 11 of the men's 200 breaststroke. 2:24.1 for Zach Westhead, and that's a 3-second lifetime best Wow, well done. This is just so impressive to see. Yeah, quick nod to the coach. Look up to mum. Where is she? She's up there somewhere. Yeah. 3-second lifetime best. You're allowed to do thumbs up to your family when you do that.
Yeah, of course. And it's nice to see family, friends back in the stands supporting them. Zach there, 24.10, 3-second personal best. Second was 2:25.25, just ahead of third in 2:26.2.
Well, PBs for the first two swimmers again. They're really good swimming. Heat 7 of 11 heats in total of this men's 200 metres breaststroke, and rattling through this morning session. We really are. It's only 10:30, and we've only got, what, about 5 races to go? 5 heats left of this men's 200 metres breaststroke. And Donald Bisset of University of Stirling. Bizet?
Oh, don't ask me, I'm not very good with pronunciation. Can't even say the word properly.
We call him Donald. Donald in lane 4, looking pretty good down the first 25. Donald's going with Andrew in 5, Andrew Ray of Wrexham.
Yeah, nice start from both of these boys. We're starting to see our strokes get a little bit longer. As these boys get bigger and stronger, they will be doing ultimately less strokes per length quite often. So as you see, James will be coming in the last heat. He might only be holding, say, 12 or 13 strokes a length. So it just shows how powerful some of these breaststroke boys are.
It's pretty even down this first 75 metres. The big guys in the middle, Donald and Andrew. And it looks like Andrew Ray of Wrexham, coached by Craig Prime, just starting to move forward, move through a little bit, and then, well, Joseph Buxton looks quite good of Reading in that red hat, just lurking there in the red hat up in lane number 6.
Yeah, lane 5 there, Andrew Ray touches first, 67.72, so all these boys pretty close to the 100 turn.
In lane 2, in the black hat, don't forget there's a lane 0, so he's third up. Greg Fairbairn of University of Stirling in lane number 2, looking good. And now it looks like Joseph Buxton doing really well. So looking really good. And lane 2.
Yeah, lane 0 as well down there. We have Scott Quinn. So he's actually a Paralympian who was in Tokyo last year. Swims up at the University of Edinburgh, and he won a silver in this event, I believe, in Tokyo last summer. So it's great to see him here as well, and in heat 7 of the men's 200 breaststroke.
Oh, he's going well as well. He's still very much in the race, and he looks really good. He's working hard down at the bottom, but the red hat of Joseph Buxton of Reading looking good up there, and he just started lurking going into that 100 metres turn. He looks strong and he looks solid, and he's just moved up the pace all the way through, and this looks good. So Buxton wins it in lane number 6, 2:21.00, another 1.3 second lifetime best for him, and a 4.5 second season's best. Wow.
Yeah, another massive swim, and he could have even been slightly the right side of that 2:21 if he'd have just been a little bit more powerful into that finish. He was slightly long, so it's just great how you've got these opportunities for swimmers to look back at their races. And, oh, James will be looking a bit scary there in the call room. He looks like he's ready to go this morning.
He does, doesn't he? He's, I don't know what he had for breakfast, but he's right on it. Really is. Wow. Well, it's good to see the big guys taking it seriously, taking it properly. We certainly saw Adam Peaty taking it very seriously in the ready room, and James will be taking a leaf out of his book. He's concentrating, really practicing. There he is, look, right in the centre. In, I was going to say, row 2. Interesting, sitting on his own, looking like he's ready to go. I wonder if he's going to try and produce something this morning. Heat 8 of the men's 200 breaststroke. Isaac Hall, Borough of Stockton in lane 4. So the last of the unseeded heats in the men's 200 breaststroke. And Isaac Hall of Borough of Stockton in lane 4 is the fastest seed. Probably the fastest start there is the white hat up in lane number 6. That's Elliot Woodburn of Millfield School.
Yeah, really good start from him. He qualified, well, he has achieved the qualifying standard for the European Juniors in the 100 metres breaststroke, so 61.9. So we expect him to be out quick, and he looks really comfortable here.
And we should shout out to Millfield School in Newendale. Had a quick chat with him the other day, and his swimmer here looks really good. Elliot Woodburn, very high recovery, does come up very high. I mean, he does dive into every stroke, and there's a lovely distance per stroke. And when you see James Wilby do it, and just a beautiful proponent to that. But interesting, he uses quite a lot of energy to go up, but that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, he's not lifting his head up and then his shoulders following, so he's almost not nodding. His chest and his head are coming up together, so he's not wasting lots of momentum. He's not kind of snaking up and down the pool, as we like to call it. So it's really effective, and he's still managing to squeeze those heels together at the end. So he's getting into a lovely, nice, streamlined position at the end of every single kick.
And it almost looks pedestrian, doesn't it? It almost looks like he's just in slow motion, but this is really quick.
Yeah, some of the best breaststroke swimmers in the world look like they're not really putting that much effort in, especially over this 200 metres. So if you can emulate that and replicate that, then you're almost sort of learning from the best.
Well, the rest of the field just starting to come back at him now, and maybe overtaking in lane 3 is Tom Beagley of Bath University. Tom first to turn with 50 metres to go. Elliot still in second, but there's a charge in the centre now. There really is, right in the centre. We've got in 3, it's Tom Beagley leading. Well, actually, maybe now in 5, Angus Allison taking over from Sterling.
Yeah, he had a really good 400 medley yesterday, so we know he's a strong swimmer, and he's really showing his strength here down the last 50 metres.
Well, it's the last of the unseeded heats in this men's 200 metres breaststroke. And it looks like in lane number 5 here, Angus Allison is really putting a marker down. Lifetime best 2:21.8. 2:21.8 was his lifetime best, because that is brilliant. 2:20.6. Another 1.25 of a second underneath his lifetime best, and that's a cracking swim from him. And he's getting close to going sub 2:20, isn't he?
Yeah, big smiles there. His season's best coming into this competition was 2:23.8, so it's nice that he's been able to not only get, well, back near his best, he's then also done a PB. So Angus Allison finishing first there, 2:20.6. Jay Manners from Derwentide just behind him, 2:22.32, and 0.2 seconds behind that we have Isaac Hall, so 2:22.41 he finishes on.
So now we're getting into the fastest 30. The big guys in this men's 200 metres breaststroke at Ponds Forge International Sports Centre, the British Championships in 2022. We have heat 9 of 11 heats, and Adam Chillingworth, 5th on the 100, 3rd ranked coming into this 200. He's in lane 4, the fastest seed. So Chillingworth, a decent 100, 5th on that 100. He's in lane 4 with that silver cap. Very much even off the start. Lanes, maybe, is it lane 2? Ross Young of Edinburgh had a good start, and that black hat closer to us, and it looks like lanes 2 and 4, Young and Chillingworth, started well down this first 30.
Yeah, really nice start, and we keep saying how important that is, but you can see how much of a difference it makes only down the first length. If you can get off the block quick, you can maximise that underwater phase, have a really nice breakout as well. We can't forget the transition from the underwater phase into the swimming is also really important, and it just sets you up nicely for the race, and these two boys have used that really well and are both ahead of the rest of the field.
And the efficiency of this stroke, it does look beautiful, doesn't it? Maximising the distance per stroke, DPS on every single stroke, trying to keep as tight as you can, not having anything sticking out, so as aquadynamic as possible, and turning in 63.79, a good first 100. That really is a good first 100 from Adam Chillingworth in the centre. This is going to be quick.
Yeah, quick split there. His entry time and his personal best is 2:13.00, so he comes back under a 70 point. Yeah, he should achieve a massive PB there.
Well, this is impressive stuff, and if you can go somewhere close to his season's best, it's not far off his lifetime best, actually. His fastest this year is 2:13.3. Best time ever, 2:13.0, and this is a really impressive swim. And he's swimming away still, is Chillingworth in 5. Harvey Freeman 1 lane up from him, turning second. Freeman going well. but no doubt about the leader, and Chillingworth looks super.
Yeah, lovely stroke here. He's still stretching out every stroke. He's not got short and scrappy. And just above him, Harvey Freeman is our European Junior finalist in this event last year. So both of these boys looking really good coming into the wall.
Well, Freeman can still qualify for the European Juniors this year, so we'll have to keep an eye on his time. The qualification standard for him is 2:16.6, but this, a great time. And that is a super swim, 2:13.11, just outside his lifetime best, but that's really solid. Winning heat 9, the first of the seeded heats. It is Adam Chillingworth of Plymouth. Second was Harvey Freeman, and third, George Smith.
Yeah, he looked really nice and comfortable there. It doesn't look like it was too taxing this morning, so I'm sure we'll see him back again in the A final tonight.
And we're just checking the times here, because the junior time that Harvey Freeman needs to do is 2:16.66. Look at that. Harvey Freeman coming in second. He's got to go 2:16.66. He's gone 2:16.40, so he's gone underneath the consideration time for selection for the European Junior Championships this summer. Well done, sir.
Yeah, there's capacity for 4 swimmers to be picked for each event in that European Junior category, and we do have another couple of juniors coming up, so hopefully he can hang on to that time and is one of those boys that maybe gets one of those 4 spaces.
Greg Butler, fastest seed from Loughborough University. In fact, it's the Loughborough National Centre, coached by Mel. Based at the Loughborough swimming pool, and it's a wonderful setup. You've got teams that represent the university, and then there's also the national centre squads as well. So 2 different sets of squads there. And Gregory Butler swam a really good 100 breaststroke. I mean, coming third on the 100 at the Nationals, you go, okay, well done. First was Adam Peaty, second was James Wilby.
Yeah, if you take those 2 world-class swimmers out, I'd be like telling everybody that I'd won the gold medal. So he did a really impressive swim there. He took a big chunk off his PB, and he was really close to breaking that 60-second barrier, 0.05 off being the right side of 59.99. So I'm sure he'll be looking to work this 200 here, and we've seen him going out really nicely the first 100 of this race.
Well, he's coming on really well as well. He's, what is he, only 21 years of age, so I would imagine by Paris, if he can keep this going, he could be a real threat. And that's going to be very interesting, because if he can keep on going, keep on improving as he is doing, we've got Peaty and Wilby. You can only have 2 per nation at the Olympic Games, but I wouldn't be too surprised if he can keep on going, keep on working with Mel, and improving as he is. He could be pushing those guys. That would be interesting.
Yes, we tend to see Adam Peaty in the 100, James Wilby in there, and Ross Murdoch kind of mixing things up, and Ross and Wilby are tending to be the more 200 dominant swimmers. But you never know, 2 years till Paris, people might decide they've had enough, might take time to call on swimming, and the changing of the guard, as they like to call it. Every now and again you have an Olympics where you see a massive group of swimmers and then none of them at the next Olympics, and Tokyo was that for quite a lot of swimmers. It was a very new team, and I was the only athlete there that had been to 3 games. I think there were only 2 or 3 athletes that had been to 2 games, so it was quite a young team, and every time we see an Olympics now, I'm sure the youngsters are going to be knocking on the door saying, when can I come, and is it my turn this time?
That's a fascinating stat. I hadn't realised that you were the only triple Olympian on the team in Tokyo.
Yeah, old, unfortunately.
So, Greg Butler working hard down this final 50. And this looks a very good swim indeed. The time is 2:13.94. So just outside of his lifetime best. He was 3rd on the 100, 4th on the 50 breaststroke. And barring any disqualifications, he should be comfortably through to that final this evening. Have to wait and see.
Looked like it hurt a little bit this morning there, but these are the experiences and these are the swims that you really learn from. So did he go out a little bit too fast? Can he maybe hold back a tiny bit tonight in order to really push on? And I'm sure he'll go back and chat to Mel, and they'll come up with a race plan for this evening.
Well, just seen the board there. Look at that. Greg Butler, unfortunately, he won that heat, but he's been disqualified. Oh, that's a great shame. Well, we don't find out what it is. The judges have decided, and rightly so, that they talk to the swimmer, the athletes, and their coach first. And then once they've discussed it, and if they've had an opportunity to protest or not, then they share it with the rest of the world. That's a real shame, though. So Butler won it, but got disqualified. So Cook ends up being the first to finish in that heat 10 of the men's 200 breaststroke. We got the final heat, and here he is, Great Britain's Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo, finalist in the 200 meters. I think he was 5th in that final.
Yeah, 5th at the Olympic Games, gold in 2018 at the Commonwealth Games. So he's a really amazing 200 breaststroke swimmer, and there's lots to learn. So have a little watch.
The black hat of Wilby. James Wilby, Olympic silver medalist on that men's 4x100 medley relays from the heats, allowing Petey to rest for the final. And just look at this stroke. It's almost poetic, isn't it? It's so smooth. It's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, he's got a really kind of quick in-sweep, so his elbows come round really quick, but then he dives forwards and he drives and still gets into that streamline at the end. So although it looks like he's got quite a fast stroke rate, it's just because he's maximising that pull underneath to get his arms around quick, get back into streamline, and then use that kick to really drive him forwards.
It's not wildly dissimilar from the other swimmers in the Dave Hemmings' squad, is it? We've got Molly Renshaw and Abby Wood, both very good 200 meters breaststroke swimmers, and it's a similar sort of style.
Yeah, I think so. The girls are a little bit longer, not necessarily have the strength to be able to kind of use a slightly narrow kick. So the girls tend to have a slightly wider breaststroke kick than some of the boys do, just because it requires so much strength to do that. But yeah, they've got a lovely breaststroke program there. Max Litchfield's got a lovely breaststroke in from his 400 medley. So there's a group of them there that whenever they do a breaststroke set, I'm sure it's kind of really competitive.
Well, 63.02 at the turn, and he's working this second 100 a lot, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes here. And what fascinated me at the Commonwealth Games in the Gold Coast 4 years ago was that Adam Peaty won gold and silver, gold on the 100, got pipped on the silver by Cam Vanderberg, but a gold and a silver in the breaststroke wasn't the most successful breaststroke at the meet, because James Wilby won the 200 gold, silver on the 100, and bronze on the 50.
Yeah, clean sweep, one of each. Him and Ross Murdoch were battling in that 200-metre breaststroke, and James just had a phenomenal last 50 and just kind of almost swam over into the wall and got the finish. So it's nice, I guess, when you can get a gold, silver and a bronze. It's nice to look at all three in your cabinet.
Well, he looks very good as well. He's really working it. Interesting tactics here, because he doesn't need to do that. He's pre-selected for the World Championships, so doesn't need to be this quick. But this is a really good swim. 2:10, 2:11, 2:11.37. Well, that's a really good, solid swim in the heats. It's still about 4 seconds outside of his lifetime best, but it looked like he was working it quite hard. And when you're unrested, just to try and get that easy speed, it's so hard to dig. You've really got to work it, and it's a hard work to achieve that.
Yeah, breaststroke, it can be really easy to just get short and scrappy and kind of like slip a lot of water and almost just totally mess up your race plan. So you want to keep it nice and long, and James looked really good there right up until the end.
So 2:11.37 wins it. Carl Booth second, 2:17.7. So the qualifiers for the A final. Thomas Cannon's going to make it in 8th. That's a really good swim from him. And so qualifiers, there we go. So saying you made it in. Is that right? Yes, it is. So top 8, George Smith gets in, 2:18.4. He's into the final with Wilby fastest in. And then Robbie Jones just makes it into the B final. So there's going to be some really quick guys in there. And then, of course, we've still got the Priority Paris final for those born 2001 and younger, and the junior final as well.
Yeah, lots of swims to look forward to tonight. So we have kind of the recap of this morning. So first up is the... Oh, what was first this morning? It feels like it wasn't even that long ago. The women's 200 backstroke. So we have the junior final, the Priority Paris final, then the B final, followed by the A final. We have the men's 100 butterfly, where we'll see James Guy in action, Jacob Peters. Women's 100 freestyle, so that'll be a really good race to watch tonight with Anna Hopkin, Freya Anderson, and Abby Wood. And finally, we'll finish with a men's 200 breaststroke, where we'll see James Wilby.
And there he is. He's going to go and swim down, try and just get rid of that lactic acid, almost whistling down the pool. Well, saying he worked hard, it looks like he's already recovered and he's not even got the swim down pool yet, but he will definitely do that. He'll get down and probably swim. There's Josh, the media guy for British Swimming. And so he's just going to go and have a quick interview with the press, and then he's going to go and swim down probably about 1,000 meters or so. But another fantastic set of heats. This is the 4th morning of heats, 6 days of this British National Championships of 2022. And after last night's fireworks, really looking forward to what we can see tonight. Looking forward to that, Amy?
Yeah, definitely. I think that women's 100 freestyle will be a really exciting one, so that's kind of my one to watch for tonight.
Fantastic. Join us at 5:45 for the pre-show, and the finals will start at 6 o'clock this evening. 5:45, back here. See you then.